So here I am in San Antonio, where I have my man sitting next to me, Latif Mercado, who is a booking agent, producer, author. What am I living out, Latif? Help me out.
Manager, road manager. I do it all pretty much.
That's
freestyle. Anything that has to do with freestyle, I'm there.
That's right. You got this love for freestyle. So tell me about how you got in the game and how it started.
Well, I got in the game basically through the artists I'm here in San Antonio with right now, which is Lil Suzy. We just did a show last night in Austin, killed it. Now we're doing San Antonio, where I started with her over 25 years ago. She was 5 years old.
Wow.
She just celebrated her 34th birthday yesterday.
So that would make her what, 40?
Something like that. No, she's
still young.
Yeah. No, she's not that old though.
That's good. See,
you get in trouble, man.
No, that's good. No, I'm just saying that's good. When you start young at 5,
yeah,
you'll be doing it for 30 years and be 35.
Right. Yeah, her first record she released when she was 7 years old, called Randy. And then Take Me in Your Arms, of course, was the big one. She came out when she was 12 years old. So wow. I wrote her actual first original record, which was called Ghetto. And she was about, I don't know, 6 years old, something like that. And then she performed another song of mine called Children of the World, which she performed on Star Search. You remember Star Search, right?
Yeah. She was in '87, right?
Yeah. So she performed my song, and she didn't win, but she did become, between the two that won that night, she became the successful one. The other one just disappeared. But I started basically with her. I knew her father from a job I used to do maintenance in Manhattan. So I knew this guy who people used to talk about, who I had a daughter who sang. And I used to ride the freight elevators, but they weren't the manual ones, the ones with the buttons. So, and I did maintenance there. So I used to actually have a drum machine. And I used to go to work with a regular maintenance uniform and a briefcase, and in the briefcase was my drum machine. So I used to plug in the drum machine and the headphones in the elevator and do beats as I went up to the 43rd floor and back down. Wow. And that's how I met her father. He came into the elevator one day. He says, "Oh, you're the guy who does the raps," because I used to do a lot of rap. I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Yeah, my daughter sings." I said, "Oh, you're the one that they're talking about whose daughter sings." And he brought me to his locker room and showed me all the pictures. And I went to, I think it was her 5th or 6th birthday party at Studio 54, and we've been together ever since, you know.
Wow. So you're in the freestyle game for how many years?
Man, I gotta be at least, definitely at least 25 years.
All right, 25 years. So tell me, what makes a successful freestyle artist?
Oh man, what makes a successful freestyle artist would probably be, what would make a successful any artist is the dedication, the determination, that drive, constantly building your craft, knowing that it is a business and it's not all just art. And that's what a lot of these artists failed in the past is they just focused a lot on the art. They didn't have the right management, so they forgot the whole aspect of the business. And it's beautiful. Back in the days when you first signing on with a label, with a management company, usually with a label, as a kid, you're not really too concerned about money. You're really not. There's so many people, man, I just want the dream, I just want to be on stage, I just want this, I want to do videos. So they're quick to sign. And then come years later, they realize that they signed themselves away. And now they got, millions of records being sold. And financially, they're starting to feel it. So because they're feeling it, they start going back to, wait a minute. This guy's making all this, we're selling all these records, and why am I broke? Why am I living in an apartment? Why am I being evicted? Why don't I have a car? Because they didn't think about the business. So, business first,
So, because I know, I check out the page. You have this love, this passion for freestyle music, and you like to keep it pure, apparently, right?
Right, yes.
Okay. And the reason I say that is because you have this page, and the reason I'm laughing is because as a comedian, there's so much comedy material there.
It really is.
But it's called Phonies.
Freestyle against Phonies.
Freestyle against Phonies. If you haven't checked it out, you gotta check it out on Facebook, because some of the best drama. This is like a reality show.
Yeah.
That's happening on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And you're like, I would say, the chef. You're the one who kind of brews all night.
I brew it, I stir it, I keep the flame going.
Right, but what is that page about? Tell people who are not familiar with that.
For those who don't know, I'm married to Angel, who's the original lead singer of the Cover Girls. Right. The Cover Girls, they broke up years ago, and the old management, that's your boy, isn't it?
Who's that? I don't know.
Anyway, the old management went and he put he got 3 girls that he found, I don't know, in a supermarket, he put them together and he put them on tour, and it became a phony group, and they started promoting the group as the original. They started playing the songs. It was basically Angel's voice, and you can hear the advertisements, but it's these girls' picture. It was a big mess.
So what you're saying is, so they took 3 other cover girls.
3 girls.
3 girls. And they gave the whole impression that it was the original ones.
That they were the ones all along.
And that's what bothered me.
Yeah, well, you know, it was basically stealing. You know, she
Okay.
did create, and the only reason why the group had broken up,
Right.
she could have easily had taken, you know, 2 girls and created the cover girls with 2 new girls.
Right.
She didn't want to do that. I wasn't interested in that. We said, unless we get the originals together, there's not going to be no more original cover girls. You know, so what these people did is they came up, they said, well, there's a void here. There are no cover girls. And they created, you know, 3 phony, it's a phony group.
Okay.
And it took time, it took a while, and finally I got hold of all the originals and I put them together. So right now I do have the original cover girls, which is Angel, Caroline, Margot, and Sunshine. And they are touring and they are doing shows. And
So the original cover girls are available.
they are available. They're available for bookings. They have shows all over the place right now. Angel also performs by herself as Angel OCG, which is original cover girl, as well as 1/3 of SAL, which is a group I created in 2004, which consists of Angel, Lil Suzy, and Lizette Melendez. And that was a great concept. People love that package. But because of the fact that I was able to get the originals together, the original cover girls, I found it possible for us to get some of these other groups together, like TKA, who broke up, same situation. The group split, they're doing their thing, they're doing their thing. Okay, cool, they're getting they're making their money, whatever, but the fans are left out. Just a memory, I don't know TKA if it doesn't include, you know, Tony KL, AB, and or Angel, because there was 2 A's, just like the cover girls had 4 members. Same thing with Sweet Sensation. So I can't really go to a TKA show and enjoy it, knowing that that's not the original acts. And what some of these acts are doing is they're going out there portraying as though they are the originals.
So
And it's just making us look bad.
So that page, I have this fun because it's funny. Because what I see going on is it's like, if you haven't checked it out, check out it. Freestyle
Against Phonies.
Phonies, some of
It's
the best comedy. I mean, this is cool stuff. So it's that, right? You feel the fans are being cheated because it's like they're giving the impression that these freestyle artists, the original ones, and they're not.
Yeah.
So what I notice is when they have a flyer, this is where it gets you going. Like you see a flyer that's got like Freestyle Fest.
Right.
It's got like 10 acts, and you start looking at which ones are.
We
phony.
dissect it.
You dissect it.
Yeah, we dissect it.
Tell me more.
You know, and basically what we do, and this is what's so important about Freestyle Against Phonies. This is the concept behind it is, I can't say discourage you from going to the shows, because you're gonna do what you want to do. But at least when you do go, you do know who's performing. So if you got 10 acts performing and 4 of them are fake, and you still want to pay the $75 to go see it, then that's up to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to at least make you aware of it at that point. And that's what Freestyle Against Phonies. I don't have any kind of relationships. These people don't make me money. I'm talking about the crooks, all the old managers and promoters who are behind this deception. I have no strings attached to them, so they can't do anything to me. So I don't have a problem speaking up against this. I think it's a bad thing, and people chastise me on it, but hey.
But see, that's what I want to ask you. So your thing is, I want to keep it pure. I'm doing it for the fans, and I want to make sure that, you know, these artists that are being promoted are the real artists, and if not, don't make people believe that they're the real artists.
Don't deceive them.
All right, don't deceive them. So what is the beef that the people who, I see the comments going, hey man, Latif, you know, you're just trying to keep the, you know, genre down, and what's your problem? So what's the problem people have with you because of that?
Most of the people that are saying that, this is the deal. New York City.
Why are people upset with you, I guess, is the question.
Well, usually the people who are upset with me are all these East Coast New York City. Now, I'm born and raised in the Bronx. You know, I come from New York freestyle. My acts are all from New York. We're not West Coast, even though we come out here a lot. These are people who are basically a part of one of the managers, which we all know is Sal Vitello. He's one of the managers slash agents slash promoters, and he handles a lot of the New York freestyle. He handles a handful of clubs out there, and of course the majority of the freestyle artists live in that area. So of course they want to flock to him because he's closest to them. He can help them. The problem is that he stated in one of his interviews that he has no interest in helping any of the new acts, you know? So a lot of them are just basically speaking up against me just to defend him without, there's no logic behind anything that they're saying. If you read it, that's why a lot of times you won't catch me into an argument. If I'm arguing with you, I'm really playing with you. I'm really laughing behind the scenes. So if you want to continue, keep it going, that's cool. You're the one that's going to look like a fool, not me.
Right now, I heard that interview you're talking about, and I noticed that a lot of freestyle artists, they have him way up there, like, you know, it's like...
Well, you know, we realize this, the freestyle artists...
I just noticed people get upset. I know who you're talking about, Sal, you know, and I go back to my New York days and stuff like that, but I'm not in the market, but I know who you're talking about. But I notice a lot of the freestyle artists get really upset if you have anything bad to say about them.
Well,
why is that?
It's really not all of them. It's the freestyle acts are basically in levels. There's your A-list. Your A-list are the acts that are making a living doing this. This is your Cover Girls, your Angel, your Lil Suzy's, your Joe's Lamonts, your Stevie B's, your Judy Torres, your Johnny O's. Those are your A-list acts. Those are the ones that do this for a living. They don't say anything bad about me. They don't get involved. Why? Because I'm a booking agent. I make the money. So does Sal. So they're the smart ones. They keep quiet. They keep it hush. The ones who are speaking up are the ones that make no money. They don't make nothing. My commissions are more than what they can pull in a show.
Wow.
So in their mind, Sal's the one that can do something for them. I can't. That's fine. I have no intentions. Not those particular ones. They're just, you know, people who just don't have any logic and they're just doing it the wrong way. You know, they're just doing it the wrong way. So
it's the B ones. That's what you're saying. Those are the ones who are making all
a lot. Yeah, a lot of the B-list acts who, you know, or even C-list who can't get anywhere, because you have some B-list acts that they don't charge a lot, but they work pretty often. Then you have other acts, like one of the ones that you hear rant like a little chihuahua in one of my interviews. I think the last show, he keeps talking about a show that I took from him in 2009.
Right.
2009?
Right.
Get over it, man. Even if I did take it, I didn't touch it. I have no interest in it.
I mean, you must be ruffling feathers, right?
I always do. But it's part.
I saw a couple of videos that you know, they were upset with you. And, you know, I'm like, you know, if you have a problem, you know, obviously you try to talk it out, blah, blah, blah. But these guys just got street on you where they actually challenged you to a fight, right? Or at least they said if they saw you, you know,
I'll stay away from them.
Things are going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I stay away from them.
Now, who are those guys? Are those guys,
never met them in my life. Now, one's an artist who has been, I think he's like 40-something years old. He can't support his family with this business. It's time to move on. If I can't support my family in this business, I will get 1, 2, or 3 jobs, whatever I need. I'm not going to sit down and try to bash people and blame other people. It's my fault. Right. My kids want to eat. My kids want to have nice things. It's my responsibility. It's nobody else's fault. Okay. And if you think it's the market, then it's time to leave the market. Get out of it.
So then at the end of the day, what would resolve all this? Is there some kind of solution? And I know people sometimes they sit down and talk, but sometimes that's impossible because, you know, emotions are too high. But do you ever like sit back and just think, you know, this is what would be the solution to this, where we could all live happily ever after?
You know what? It's changing a lot. It was a time when before I started doing this, I started campaigning and speaking out against this about 12 years ago. And back then it was bad. I mean, you would go and there was phony acts everywhere. I think I eliminated 80% of them. Then you still have a handful. I think there might be three, when there was like 10 at one point, 10 or 15. There's like 3 left. So I think we're getting there. What's happening is the promoters don't want the problems. It's a big risk to book a show. It costs a lot of money to bring the acts out, to put them in hotels, to fly them, to pay them, to feed them. It's very expensive. So the promoters don't want anyone messing up with the possibility of their audience showing up, you know? So they don't need that. And what I do, and it's an unfortunate, is I tell the promoters, don't gamble it. Don't take the risk. There's at least 40 good acts that can become very profitable for you. Leave these other ones alone. Don't mess with them. Because if you mess with them, then we're going to have to speak out against it, and now there's a good chance you're going to lose a nice percentage of your audience because of this. So why do it? It's just not right.
All right, so where do you see, freestyle music 10, 20 years from now? Because it's been revived, right? It's big on the West Coast now,
Very
in
big.
Texas.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're discovering something new, right?
Yeah,
How did that happen? How did the West Coast all of a sudden become like loving freestyle like in 2000? Like 20 years later.
not to take any credit, but I play a big role in that.
Mm-hmm.
My artist, Lil Suzy, she was one of the latecomers, even though she was performing in the 80s with everybody else. But she had a late hit. Her hit came out in 91. And since she was so young, she was a novelty. She attracted a very young audience in freestyle. Whereas you got other acts that the majority of their audience are in their 40s and 50s. Suzy still has the 20 and 30-year-olds. And these 20 and 30-year-olds still attend these concerts. That's why we're able to pack these places with her, and she's not too far from their age, so they can relate more so. We go to like the club last night, I think the majority of the people in there were in early 30s.
Right.
Whereas she's in her early 30s. So she can relate, they can relate, they can say, wow, this is someone I like to be with or someone I like to be.
Now, do you think obviously, if you're going to keep the music alive, you have to have new artists, right? Kind of like take over. It always happens, you get older and then the younger guys to carry the torch to keep the music alive.
Yes.
Are there any like young, George Lamont's, Angels, Judy's, Lil Suzy?
There has
be
been
the next generation, because that's what's going to pull in the younger crowd. Right?
There has been in the past, and that was always a big thing that I've spoken about, and I always said that this is a great way of rejuvenating and breathing some new life into freestyles by bringing in a new artist, bringing in these young artists, not a new artist who's already 40. That's not how business in the music business works.
Right.
If you look at any of these artists why is Justin Bieber such a phenomenon? Because he's so young, and he's a pretty boy.
Right.
That's the formula. Look at Rihanna, you look at Chris Brown, and you look at, they're pretty people.
Right.
And then Bruno Mars, and then they're young. That's the formula. It's in our face.
Right.
So when you're 40 and 50 years old, you're still trying to put out records. You're basically, you're beating a dead horse. Not saying that's not impossible, but there might come a time where you have to branch out and say, what else can I do? You don't want to be 50 and 60 years old and look back and say, man, I should have did this when I was in my 40s.
Right.
So you got to take this market and see what else. I mean, what are the fans doing? I'm 46. What do I like to do? I like to read books, watch movies, go to plays, take a cruise.
Right.
Do I want to go to these clubs? No. I'll go to a little lounge, eat some sushi with my wife.
Yeah.
So that's the formula. So you got to find out where these people are. So the ones who are going to the clubs,
Is anybody out there doing it? That's what I'm saying. Is anybody out there trying to find artists?
They have. The unfortunate is those same deceiving people that were deceiving the market with these phony acts were the ones that were involved with them. And they're horrible business people, so they screwed them up.
Right.
So there has been a couple, but they didn't go anywhere. They haven't gone anywhere because just the business isn't right.
Right.
It's more than just having this cute face to go out there.
You talk about deceiving and stuff. So now I want to get to that part before I let you go, because I know you got to go to your show. Talk to me about that interview that you're calling The Ambush.
Oh man,
That thing's got like close to 300 comments.
yeah, we could have kept it more. I want to go easy.
What happened with that? It's an interview that you did. You called it.
They called me in.
You called it The Ambush, right?
Yeah, it was The Ambush. It's called The Morning Hype. It's with Ty Bless and Julio Mena.
Now, why do you call it The Ambush? I'm just curious.
Because I was ambushed and I knew it. I saw it coming. These are guys who, it's an unfortunate because Julio Mena, I think I still have, I feel the dude. I think he's an incredibly talented guy, and I knew it was going to happen. I kind of saw who he was talking to and what he was doing, and I told him, I said, be careful, man. I've been doing this a long time. I know these people. I have no strings attached. I don't have a problem helping people without anything attached. I do it all the time. So there never has to be paperwork with me. There's never have to be money on the table. Let me see if I can help you. I've been successful, and I'm very grateful, and I'm very fortunate, and I like to extend that. And then if something big comes of it, then we can sit down and do some paperwork because there's another entity involved.
Right.
But I don't need that. And so Julio Mena was one of those people who's an incredible artist. I really hope that he ends up in the right hands and the right person can nurture him and really run with him. Ty Bless, good friend of mine for a long time. He's down with the K7 TK camp. That's cool. That's his boy. He's got to look out for his boys. But if you're going to, and of course now, you know, Julio Mena's down with them. So that's their camp. And that's, of course, New York camp who goes under, you know, King Sal. So, of course, King Sal.
King Sal?
King
like
Sal.
The king.
Yeah, because he's the king to them. So, you know, and I understand that. Worship your king. You know, your king can do for you. He can hurt you. He can help you. You know, so maybe I would.
I heard the interview, obviously the whole thing, so I came prepared, right?
Yeah.
So you did call King Sal something, right? Which kind of like freaked him out a little bit.
Yeah, I called him a fucking idiot. I didn't mean to say it though. It slipped. The idiot parts really slipped.
Yeah,
you know.
Sometimes it slips. You need to say.
I didn't mean to. That's not me, man.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to say something
My family
nice.
called. It was like, well, since when? I don't curse, man.
Yeah,
I don't curse.
So what was the reaction now? I mean, tell people.
Well, my family. I was a little embarrassed because my family called me.
But what was the reaction of the host when you said?
And they were silent. You know, yeah, they were trying to see if they could bleep it out, but I'm too fast.
Yeah.
They tried to bleep it out. They couldn't do it.
Well, I think they did a disclaimer too that the radio show in no way is responsible.
Yeah, they have to do their disclaimer. Hey, man, you know, I mean, Sal, he could, their careers, they'll be over in a second. So, you know, so they did the right thing.
So tell me how you were ambushed now.
Well, you know, I knew it. You know, of course, I'm going to research the show. They wanted it's going to be a live show. Yeah. I've done plenty of interviews. My interviews are pretty lengthy compared to a lot of people because I do a lot of things and I have a lot to speak about. And I can talk if I want to, especially if I have a cup of coffee in the morning, which I did that morning, so I was able to let it out. But I did a little research and I saw where the friends were. And I saw who were the friends. And I went on the page, I saw who was responding. I saw these little clues like, okay, yeah, well, this is going to be a deep show. You guys got to tune in. You know, we got this. I'm not dumb, man. I sensed that. I saw right through it. So
why didn't you just hang up then if you sensed it?
I told my wife the night before because I found out the night before we were going to do it. So I told her, I said, they want me to do the live show in the morning. She goes, oh, okay, cool. I said, about 10 a.m. I said, I think I'm being set up. She's like, what makes you think that? So I told her, she said, yeah, you're probably being set up. She goes, well, cancel it, don't do it. I said, nah. I said, I'm gonna run with this. I said, I'm gonna go in there, I know what's on, I know what they're gonna ask. My goal right now, since it's live, is I know they can't erase whatever's live. So I'm gonna go in there and of course I'm gonna pitch everything I do. I'm talking about my book, I'm talking about what I did. FMAs, the biggest, bigger than the Madison Square Garden, bigger than the Radio City was the FMAs. Freestyle Music Awards was the biggest event. It was $1 million event, beautiful, spectacular. It was produced under me. I was the one that created it, produced it.
No, when you mentioned that, there was silence, right?
Silence, because they can't deny it.
Right.
So they can't deny it.
And then when you mentioned also you have a cologne, right? It's Freestyle by La, right?
Freestyle by La.
Do you have any with you?
No, I don't have any on me. No, I have
nothing. Check it out.
Yeah, you know, and I didn't think about I should have wrote it for you.
So you mentioned that, and there was silence.
They were silent again because, you know, again, whenever I'm the type, I'm not really going to talk too much about stuff. I'm a doer. I like to get it, and these things I don't ask anybody. I pay for them myself. They're very expensive. Everything that I ever done costs a lot of money, except the awards. I had an investor, but I put down. If I would have charged her for my time, it would have been a lot of money. But the cologne, it was $23,000 investment. In their mind, they said, "Oh, you should have took that and try to use that money to promote freestyle." Well, that's what the cologne was supposed to do. You know, hip hop has it. Sean John has it. Usher has it.
That's good. I mean, that's part of marketing. You know, you try to take the main ingredient, which is freestyle.
Yeah.
Or ingredient comedy, and then you try to create these different products, whether it's clothing line.
It smelled like cool water. It had a really great smell. It smelled like cool water. You could wear it in the daytime. You could wear it at night. It was a pump. It was made top of the line, beautiful box and everything. You know, of course, if you don't like me, you're not gonna like my cologne. It's gonna smell like piss to you, and it's gonna smell like everything else. So, you know, well, I ain't gonna win. So, but that's cool. You know, I knew what I did, and just the accomplishment of doing it was enough for me. You know, the fact that I did it, and no one can ever take that away. I take plenty of pictures of it. I still got some bottles, even though they busted. I manufactured real cool, you know, the bottles, it was a new bottle, and they didn't hold off when they were being shipped. And that's the only reason I stopped it.
Well, then I saw the pictures, and I mean, it was professional production. So what you did was, no doubt, top quality production.
And I was doing that for freestyle. Because the night we'd just been called Latif. Smell it. You know? It was called Freestyle, and it was big, Freestyle by La. And I didn't even use my whole name.
You should do a t-shirt. Remember those t-shirts where you scratch and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, what's so funny is that.
You should do like, Freestyle by La, and you kind of
smell the t-shirts. When we did the Freestyle Music Awards, they had little playbills made.
Yeah.
And I did a full-page ad. And in the full-page ad, we had a little strip for the cologne so you could scratch it. Okay. So we did that. And because I introduced the cologne for the Freestyle Music Awards, I had 1,000 bottles shipped to the awards, and I gave them out for free. Nice. Nice. And we have, I needed artists to come on board and help me promote it and just start wearing it, take pictures with it, and then I would teach them how to do it themselves.
So I know. So the way the interview, I remember now, where there was technical difficulties, there was some coughing, there was whatever it was. Things got a little out of control as far as technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like calls were coming in, calls were being dropped. So what would?
Well, normally in a radio station, if it's something you don't want, if the station doesn't want you to want the audience to hear, they bleep you. And everything's on a delay. So they have about 3 seconds to hit the button and they can delay us. They're a new upstart company, so of course, they don't have a bleep button. So they have to improvise. So they did the cough. They did the, and I'm talking about cough in the phone, the movement. I heard little bells. I heard these, drop. I mean, they would come out with sound effects and doing these sound effects every time I wanted to say something, which was hilarious. So, but I tried to work around it. I was hoping people heard me. If they didn't. I tried to repeat myself. So, but that was a lot of people took it as unprofessional. I don't know. I kind of took it as being professional, innovative. I'm an innovative guy. So I thought you guys did a good. That was genius.
So you improvised with it, and then, so you're going from the interview. I don't know what happened. You dropped it, hooked up. I don't know what it was.
Well, they were trying to patch somebody in.
Who were they trying to patch in?
Sammy Tone or something like that. Sammy something. Sammy C or I forgot the guy's name anyway.
Okay.
So they were trying to patch him in, and I don't know who this guy. Never met him. If he walked in front, I don't know who he is. Never worked with him. Never made $1 with him. He claims I took a show from him. I don't know anything about it. If I did, I'm sorry, but I didn't. It was 2009. All this time he could have been trying to get himself another show, And I'm a booking agent, so I'm really not going to get you a show this time. But they were trying to patch him in, I guess, so he could curse at me or whatever. And while they were doing it, they disconnected me, and I stayed on the phone for a while. And I knew once I hung up, if they didn't come back in, I wasn't calling back.
So what do you think the whole objective of the show was, to have you come on? What do you think? At the end of the day, you said, this is what we want to do at this show. We want to bring in Latif.
Well, they got a lot of listeners.
But then at the end of the day, they had the Salva, I believe, came out.
Yeah, Salvatore came.
So what do you think was the objective of that show? Because every show has an objective. The objective is to get Latif on, get Sal on, the talk. I mean, I don't know what the objective was. What do you think it was? I mean,
they could have, the fact that they got Sal and myself on the same show, they could have, if they were smart, they could have really made that a productive show, and it could have been really fascinating and really entertaining show. They didn't do it like that, They mentioned in the beginning of the show that Sal was on the line, and he was in the chat room, and K7 was in the chat room, all these people. So I knew from the minute the show started that they had all these people listening in. The place was lightened up. I don't know how many people that place holds, but they haven't been able to top it since. And they bring artists, and they brought sound, they bring everybody in. They can't touch it. So I knew he was on there. So from the minute I knew he was on, you can hear that the questions that were being asked, they weren't allowing me to finish, and they were having their own opinions to my answers. You're asking me. If you're asking me my opinion. I'm not asking for a debate. You want to debate, we can debate. But you're not allowing me, you're not allowing your listeners to hear anything from me. You're not. Honestly, the listeners can be educated. I've been doing this a long time. And there's not one manager out there that manages as many acts as I do in the freestyle market. And I have all A-list acts. So no one's been able to create a new group like I did, SAL. Nobody, you know how many people try to do that?
Yeah.
They try to put 2 or 3 acts together. Never happened. Can't do it. My girls have been totally. And I did girls. Imagine trying to put 3 girls together.
It's a tough gig, right?
You know? So, and one of them's my wife.
That's right.
You know? So,
yeah.
but, you know, so their agenda, whatever it was, it seemed like they were just trying to, it seems like behind the scenes, they might have told them, Sally Neal, listen, man, because we're going to get him in the corner, and we're going to put him in the corner, and we're going to make him say this, we're going to make him say that, and once he says these things, he can't, it's live, he can't turn back, he can't. Right. So I knew this. I went in there feeling as though they were ready to set me up. I said, okay, so I got to be careful what I say.
Right.
Every once in a while, a little.
No, but listen, I just coughed. I didn't want to do that.
Okay. All right.
But listen again. Yeah, I can see, you know, what you're saying. You know, I think it could have been handled different. You know? Yeah. But you know, everybody had to learn. You know, as far as the interviewing and you know.
Yeah. They have a powerful medium. Use that medium the right way.
So I think it could have been used more because you know how I think and stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it could have been done more, you know, productive and gotten a lot more out of it than like some kind of taking it to the street kind of, you know, objective in the sense, you know, okay, we got Latif on the air, we're gonna ask some questions, we're gonna pin him down, you know, and it's, you know, that kind of thing. That to me is like, but it makes for a great reality show.
It's great. I mean, you listen, we got to.
You know, one thing about reality shows, if you ever realize it, no matter what reality show you watch, there's never a solution to the problem. There's always drama after drama. Yep. So and that's what makes it good, right? Because if there was a solution, then
it'll be over.
The show's canceled. What do we need to see? There's no drama. So I don't know if this. I guess before I let you go, you know, in freestyle music, because it is making a comeback, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't mean to cough again. But they're making a comeback. Or the music is making a comeback. You can tell, you know. I mean, there's a new, you know, rejuvenation going on. So
you know, I mean,
actually, there'll be peace and love amongst. Because
listen, I'm always open for peace and love, and I said that on the show, and you know, and I didn't know what else they wanted me to say. You know, you look like you're a coffee guy.
No, it's just.
Okay.
Seriously,
okay. All right.
No, I'm not in any way making fun of this.
All right. But yeah, but no, I see a lot of positive in it. If we could get through that little hurdle, listen, I did what I had to do. I offered. I'm not out there doing anything wrong. I don't really need anything from these other people. I don't. Honestly, they might need from me, and I'm always open. I've always been like that. I can forgive. I don't forget though. People who do flip on me for no reason, they cut off. So don't even waste your time. Because I'm not like that. When I approach people, relationships, business, my hands are down. I do not go in there with my hands up in defense. I just don't do it, you know. But once I feel I have to, the relationship is done. I can't have that with you no more because that's not the kind of friends I want or people I want to be around. You can't even make me enough money for me to work there. That's just me.
All right, so then just your last message is freestyle against phonies, you know, kind of activists, right? You're a freestyle for phony activists.
Yes.
What is it that you would like to say before we just
stop to the phonies? Leave it alone. Go home, because when you get older and you're sitting around with your grandchildren and they're gonna say, you know, Grandma, Grandpa, what did you do in your life? You know, you impersonated another artist your entire career. There's no gratitude in that. You're going to die and be tossed and turning in your grave. It's going to bother you. Fix it now. If you're with a manager who is pushing you to be a phony, you know, let them try to push you into being a new artist. Those phony girls, I could have flipped you guys. I would have actually named you the phony girls and put you out there, have you do everybody's records. Okay, Sal, I just gave you a little tip there. Take it, run with it. You can have it. I don't want no piece. I don't want no commission, nothing. To the artists sharing stages with the phonies, you need to stop doing that. You will not catch that in the hip hop market. You cannot put a fake LL Cool J doing one of these old school. They will take the guy and throw him out the door. The artist will not share stages with them. And for the fans, you can't support them. I don't care if there's five. I don't care if I don't allow my acts to perform with phonies. You need to just put it. If enough of you stop supporting these concerts, the phonies will go away. There's going to come a time we're going to need phonies because the artists are going to die out. Everybody's getting older. Not yet. We don't have them yet. They're not there. Support them. Let these artists work. They're the ones that you grew up in. They're the ones that you remember. A lot of them are not working because of this. And those artists who are crying because they're not getting on these big concerts, that's because 4 slots are taken up by a phony act. Those could have been your slots. So you're getting screwed, not by me.
Check it out, Freestyle for Life. I finally get to read it, man.
Did you?
Yeah, I was doing a show in Chicago, and I took it with me on the plane.
How'd you like it?
Not that I'm a fast reader, but it was so intense that it took me like 5 days.
You surprised me when you told me you finished it.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
No, because you don't want to say that. You just keep reading and go, what happens next? What happens next? And I'm not saying it because you're here.
Yeah.
Because, I would tell you, I like the book, and I would leave it at that.
Right.
But this thing, like, when you thought it was, like, over, then it's like, what? You have, like, every chapter has, like, a cliffhanger.
Right.
Where you have to get into the next chapter. Right. And I would have to go do my show, and I go, damn, I gotta go, man. But I would, and I would, that's why it took me 5 days, because I was just, I wanted to know the whole story.
Right.
So it's, what I want to ask you, is this based on you? Is this like autobiographical?
It's almost. It's almost, yeah. It's a lot of those stories, the ones that really move you, really happen.
Like the main character.
Solo Cortez.
Solo Cortez, is that you? Or some of it is you?
Some of it is me, because what happened is I ended up on the other side of the fence. I ended up becoming a manager.
Okay.
Where you have Yolanda. So
well,
even Yolanda, Yolanda has a little bit of me in it.
Okay.
But Solo Cortez, I came into this business wanting to be an artist. I came up when rap was just happening. Back then, it wasn't that common to have a Puerto Rican rapper.
Right.
It just really wasn't. I was a great writer.
Right.
I wrote tons of raps. I used to open up for Lil Suzy on stage.
So you actually perform.
I used to open up for her. I had a little rap I used to say, and she used to come up, and she was little. She was like 7 years old. I used to kiss her on her head and then walk off the stage.
There's Lil Suzy.
Well, Lil Suzy was right next door, and her father was basically managing me, and I started doing. That was my thing. I always wanted to be an artist, and just like Solo, I got caught up in the 1980s drug game, man. I was in Jackson Heights, Queens, cocaine capital. The rest is, everything's a fog from that point on.
Right.
So I wind up ending up, going away doing some time. It was a few bids that I did.
Really?
It was the final bid that really.
So, because in the book, your character goes to prison for 3 years, right?
He goes to prison.
Were you in prison for 3 years?
3 years, yes. That was my last bid. Was 3 years, straight bid. The other ones were like. A year, 6 months, and 60 days. So it was like every time I went in, it was a little bit longer.
Right, okay. So that's here. Then you have a friend, Rick, is his name?
Yeah. Rick was his road manager.
No, who's your childhood friend?
Yeah. That would be Rick. Well, you know what? It's so funny because Rick represents not just my friends, but a lot of these people who I've seen, especially in this business. I've seen so many of these Ricks. Ricks. I met so many of these Ricks that in the story, Rick is Solo Cortez's road manager. He put him on.
But then he was also your best friend, right? You know him since kids, right?
Yeah, right. So what he did is Solo Cortez hooked him up.
Right.
Because even though he wasn't talented, people really didn't like him. He put him on to road manager. Pretty much anybody out there who has a road manager, it's usually a brother or close friend.
Okay.
A lot of times they don't even know anything about the business, So that was Rick. Rick was basically pieced into Solo Cortez's career, given a salary, hooked up, but Rick, deep down, was jealous.
And you trusted him. But I don't want to give the story away, but that's the other thing, that's why I kept reading about this. How does finally, the ending of what happened to Rick? I'm not going to give it away, but it was kind of funny and sad what happened to Rick.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give
You really don't know what happens to Rick at the end.
Well, that's just it. You're right. You don't really know, but your imagination says...
It could go either way.
Right. See, that's what I like about you writings. You left them open.
Give you a chance to kind of come to your own conclusion, but whatever it was, it really wasn't good.
Right.
But Rick represented those people. I told you that.
Right.
You don't approach them. When you approach them, when you trust someone with everything you have, no matter what people see and they say, you trust them with everything you have, and they're the culprit behind all this negativity that's going on.
Right.
So we all have Ricks in our lives.
And then your mother now in the story, was that your mother, the character then?
My mother was a little bit more cooler.
Okay.
My mom passed away. Whereas
so this is a typical Latina mother who
I was raised in just like Solo and his mother. It was me and my mother.
Yeah.
Instead of Solo's mother, she worked in the bank as a teller.
Okay.
She worked in the neighborhood, so everybody knew her.
Right.
My mother worked for OTB.
Really?
So
Are they still around?
yeah, they're still around. She worked in Woodside, Queens.
Yeah.
So of course everybody knew her. So it was the same thing. My mom wasn't really religious. I mean, you know, Solo's mom religious, but she had that connection with her son, and he had that connection with his mother the way I had with mine, where you know, you don't want to move out. You kind of just want to, you know, it looks like your mama's boy. Even though I didn't end up moving out, but
How old were you before you moved out?
well, I went to prison first.
Oh, okay.
So I went from mama to prison.
So you moved out involuntarily, right?
Right, yeah. So they moved me out. Yeah, so, you know, but then when I came back, you know, I went back home for a little bit, and then, you know, then got to my relationships and so on, and had kids and the works. But yeah, Solo's life is very parallel to me. The difference with Solo is my life starts as Solo, and it ends as Yolanda, because I started out wanting to be this artist, and then I end up being behind the scenes. And a lot of the little tactics that Yolanda uses are real tactics. They actually work.
Is Yolanda a real person?
No, man, Yolanda.
Let's have it further. She's smart. In the book, right? She's smart.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yes.
Right? And she knows the business, man.
She knows the business.
It's
yeah.
almost like a dream kind of woman in the sense of, like, if I had to have a woman smart, you know, like in the business and beautiful and all the things.
Yeah.
Is she real deal?
She had
or
to
you made
be,
her up in your head?
I made her up in my head, but you know, she's.
It's never enough, man. I was
yeah.
gonna say, can you know, what can
I don't think there's a Yolanda out there, man. Really. Yeah, I don't think there's a Yolanda out there. I mean, yeah, she has all the pieces.
She's the one who trusted you and kept you, you know.
Yeah. She does represent my wife. She represents my sister. She represents other women I know. She's represent, maybe the way she looks might represent something I've seen before.
Right.
The way she speaks, the way she dresses, her business ethic, the way she carries herself.
Right.
These are, I'm sure, are these combinations that kind of built this fantasy woman.
Right.
Her business tactics and the things that she does and the way she thinks is a lot comes from me, but I didn't want it to be a male. Because that would be too obvious, because people will be able to link it to me directly. So I had to turn her into a woman, you know?
Man, the characters here, man, are like really...
And there's not a lot of characters.
That's what I'm saying, those are the four main ones.
Yeah.
The other ones are like minor, but they're still important because, you know, they do the thing, like the club owner, I forgot his name.
Yep.
You know, that dude.
Yeah.
So Freestyle for Life, and you got the handcuff and the mic, so...
Yeah, I drew that picture, actually. That was my idea. Yeah, I actually drew it. I'm not a good artist, but I drew the whole picture, and I gave it to my artist, and then he redid it, the whole thing, and then he just added the bars, which just made sense. But I always liked that image. I said, man, if I ever do something, I want to do it. And I wanted to say Freestyle for Life because, and I use that term a lot. Anybody who knows me, I always say Freestyle for Life.
What does Freestyle for Life mean to you?
Freestyle has been my life because everything I own, my relationship with my wife was freestyle artist, my relationship with my friends, with Lil Suzy, her family, the homes that I own, the cars that I own, the clothes that we wear, it's all made out of freestyle. Every penny that I ever had in the last 25 years is made from this market. So those people who try to kill it or say it's a dead genre, I get it. I take it personal.
Okay.
I take it personal because it's been good to me. So I don't want it to go away, you know? And I know by any of us doing the wrong thing, it's going to go away. I know I can't be that one to make it go away.
To try to keep it pure too, right? In a sense,
it's a beautiful genre, man. You know, it started with the Latinos, man. It started with Puerto Rico, man, in New York, and then it went into, you know, the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans in Miami. Now it's out here. I mean, we're doing tons of the Bay Area and Texas, all the Mexicans, and you know, and then we go to South. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful genre. And there's still so much hope, and there's still a lot there, you know, and it's our culture. Right. You know, why, you know, how do we adapt this? How do we, you know, we tend to, you know, as especially Puerto Rican, we tend to take a lot of the hip hop culture. We dress a little more hip hop. We see what they wear, we wear. Right. How they walk, we walk. You know, how they talk, we talk. Right. We don't have our own, you know?
Yeah, you gotta create the style, right?
Yeah, you know, so it's you know, and that's something I always told people. I said, you know, freestyle it's a culture. It really is a culture. There's a particular sort of people that likes freestyle. Sometimes I meet people in the bank, I see the teller, and I'm like, I don't know what it is with me. Maybe because I travel so much that I can look at them and say, "You like freestyle, don't you?" Oh yeah, I didn't know anybody knows about freestyle here. I'm in North Carolina now, and it's just something about the way I know they know this music.
And it's a beautiful music because it's talking about, you know, relationships and
it's all about love.
Yeah, and it's all that. You know, I saw one comment on YouTube, and I think it was the cover girl show me.
Okay.
You know, and you have all these great comments, you know, and one girl said, "This is such a nice genre. This is such nice music. This is the way it should be. Girls talking about love and relationships, and not this getting spanked in the booty type of music we got today." And that's, you know, people hook onto that, but tell them what this book's about. So this way, you know I started off with the characters, but Freestyle for Life is about?
Yeah, it's about an artist, Solo Cortez, who is at the top of the game in the freestyle genre. It takes place in the 80s, at the same time that, you know, drugs were running rampant. He ends up, because of certain circumstances, he winds up being incarcerated. And while he's incarcerated, he goes from walking through the halls and people yelling out, "Solo, Solo," him with all this popularity. But as the years go by, his popularity starts to dwindle. And nobody knows who he is by the time he's ready to leave. So when he steps out, the genre totally changed. It becomes a hip-hop world. And I remember when that happened, when it was a hip-hop world. And even though his manager was telling him, you know, "You gotta do hip hop now. You gotta switch it up. You gotta change it." You know, he was like, "Nah, man, this is me. I can't." You know, but it's not cool anymore. It's not. And he's stuck in. That's why it comes out Freestyle for Life. No matter what, he was gonna go down with freestyle. There's a lot of people out there.
And a lot of people are buying it. How many copies have you sold?
Well, you know, it's self-published. I published it. I have a distributor, but we sold 60,000 units. It's
60,000.
My last check was last week was 63,000. units. I'm doing an average of about 28 a month to on holidays. I mean, I go up
now you do something where you pick a day and you give away for free, right?
Yeah, every so often it's just I don't have it might be something because the money's cool.
No, but that's cool that you would give away free copies too.
You know, the readers are so important.
Yeah.
So when I think about the 60,000 copies, it really, when you look at the math, because when the distributors came to me, they have a minimum. And they're like, well, this is how much you got to sell it for because it costs this much to make. And then you can make this much. Now you can make this much, or you can make this much. So I told them, how low can I make it? How low can I sell that thing? They said, you can sell it, whatever, $9, $9. They said, but you're only going to make, this amount. Under $1. Even under, like, I think I make, I don't know, 50 cents a copy, maybe. Maybe. I don't even think that. So I told them that's what I want to sell it at. I want the absolute low. And then the same thing with the Kindle version. The Kindle version alone sold over 30-something thousand units. Wow. And I sold that. I said, what's the lowest? They said, the lowest you can sell it for is 99 cents. They said, but you're only going to make 35 cents on it. I said, it's cool. Let's sell for 99 cents. Because the readers are important to me. And I'm getting a lot of people. I'm getting a lot of people from book clubs, and they're calling me, and they're emailing me, and they're actually researching the music. They're like, I didn't know what freestyle was. I started to Google it and YouTube it, and now I'm learning. I didn't know Stevie B was freestyle. I didn't know the Color Girls were freestyle. I didn't know, And they're learning this. So it's doing a great justice to the genre. And I told a lot of the artists and other people, I said, I won't write your book for you. But if you write it and you put it together, I'll show you what I did from that point on. And now you can put the book out. I'm there.
That's a lot of units, man.
It's a lot of work.
So where can if people want to get it, where can they get it?
Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, anywhere, pretty much anywhere online. The best place to get it, you're going to get the sales will be Amazon.com. You get the paperback version, and you can also get the Kindle version. I had it on Nook, but Nook was a little bit more. I had it on Nook for a while, but that's through Barnes & Noble. But Nook and Kindle, they kind of go head to head, and it's like, you can't do both. You got to do one or the other. So I chose Amazon. They're a bigger company, and they give me a lot of specials, a lot of deals. And every so often, I'm allowed to give away a free Kindle version. So I find a time that I think might be receptive. I know in Christmas time, people get new Kindles for Christmas. So the day after, I usually give the Kindle version away for free. And when I do that, it's usually like 3,500 units were given away. And that's what I want. Because I'm not thinking about the money. I'm thinking about, wow, 60,000 people, even half of them read it. Wow. 30,000 people read this book. Wow.
That's a lot of people. I was one of them, man. That read this book. I said 5 days I took to read it. You gotta check it out. Freestyle for Life.
Yeah, the next one's coming out real soon. I got the next one coming out. So it's finished. I'm just editing.
Well, that's amazing.
You know, man. So but it was a big accomplishment. I'm very proud of it.
You should be.
And you gotta go get it. Get the book. It's historic. It's the first ever urban Latino novel based on the freestyle genre ever released. So get it now while I'm still alive. And if I see you at a show like I did last night, I'll sign them for you.
And I heard you might be making a movie from this, right?
I got approached by a few people to do the movie, but I have my own movies that I wanted to do.
What do you see playing the lead role here? If you had to pick a freestyle artist, and if you had to pick someone just a straight up actor, I'll tell you who I see playing the actor part. You tell me who you see for freestyle.
Wow, that's a tough one, man. You see, the thing is Solo's younger now. He's younger than a lot of the acts now, you know. But it probably would have been, holy cow. Man, probably.
How old is Solo in this one?
I think in there he's in his 30s.
I'm sure there's some freestyle artists that could pull off.
Yeah, I think, you know, I kind of hooked Solo. You know, Solo's a real pretty boy. I made him a real pretty boy. You know, not to diss about freestyle artists, but I don't think we have to make pretty boys.
How about George Lamont?
George Lamont, yeah, I guess, yeah, all right, George, I'll give you that.
Well, maybe you don't see him as, you know, being hardcore rough guy, right? Because George Lamont, I mean, I know George, I mean, he's a pretty dude, man.
Yeah, George is a,
George, he puts like oil over Leon before he goes to sleep at night. And
that's my boy. George is, I think, is a little harder than the way Solo is. Solo, I made him a little more timid. He didn't go in there, you know. Yeah. George, I think if George was put in some of the situations that Solo was, he would have stepped to the plate a little quicker. Okay. Solo kind of sat back, and Solo, I've experienced this guy. I've experienced what was going on, so I've seen this, you know. But and I don't know, man. Maybe because I'm too close to the picture.
How about K7? Maybe he could. You think he would have been?
No.
No. Okay. No. I'm just throwing it. I'll tell you who the actor is. I see who would have been like. Right now, I can play Isai Morales.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Isai Morales is just.
I didn't say it because I knew you were gonna say it.
Yeah, really?
I didn't want to take it from you. Yeah.
No, you did say it. You can take it from me.
Yeah.
But that's who I would see.
Yeah.
Playing their solo role.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. You know.
The Orlando character.
Oh, you know who could probably do it? No. You know who could probably pull this off? Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
He's got that pretty boy look.
Yeah.
You know, he could fit that freestyle image.
That's right.
You know, he could probably work Bruno Mars.
Yolanda, I would have to go. Let me see. No. You can either go with J-Lo or Ava Longoria.
For Yolanda, you know who Angel picks?
No.
Adrienne Ballon.
Who's that?
The girl from the Cheetah.
No disrespect, but I mean, who's that?
Pretty girl from the Cheetah Girls. She was the Cheetah Girls.
But I see Yolanda in here being an older woman. And how old is this girl?
She's older now. She'll fit that bill. Yeah, she's in her 30s. I think she's in her 30s. I don't know. And
then the guy, your best friend?
Rick.
I could be Rick.
Nah, you're a nice guy, man.
No, but we're talking about acting.
I can see you.
Yeah, I would have to be. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Well, I'm a nice guy, so maybe that guy Sammy you were talking about could be Rick.
That's Rick, man. Sammy Bone, what's his name?
I don't know his last. All I know is Sammy.
Yeah, he could probably be a Rick.
Just don't ruffle feathers, bro. And then that's it, right? That's what we come in the for.
Yeah, the mother.
The mother. Wow, the mother.
I don't know. You know, I never really.
Well, you should like start visualizing the cast of this thing.
Yeah.
I can see this into,
Yeah.
A night. Like
that's a good question. I think I'm gonna end up using it as a question
yeah.
on maybe on Facebook or something.
Cast the characters. Who would play Solo? Who would play Maboom? And then
that's a good one.
Cause I can see this thing in real life, man. This is like we need stuff like this because we on Latinos is like we just need more independently made. Like if the genre is that high.
You want to produce it? What's up? You want to produce the film?
Listen, I'm down.
Man.
I'm down to do whatever I can. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here for, bro.
Let's do it, man.
I don't have to be in front of the camera. I can be behind the camera.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to hear your story and this is a great book. It took me 5 days, and I'm not a speed reader, but it was that intense, and the story was so, like I said, man. So I need to keep And in 5 days,
I'm glad.
you know, it was boom. And then when it was done, I said,
I see his autograph to you, huh?
Yeah. I appreciate that. And before, and it was when I ended it. I want to tell you, when I ended it, it was like the end, right? Obviously, right? And I was like, no, man, it's gonna be like another 5, 6 pages in here, bro. Like, you know, like posts or something. But I said it was over. I gotta wait for the second one. But yeah, you were nice enough to autograph it. Yeah, let me see what I said before I read it out loud. That's where I'm gonna edit. To Mike, such a blessing for me to have met you. I wish you all the happiness and success life may bring, which is cool, man. Your Puerto Rican brother, your Puerto Rican Muslim brother. That's right.
Yeah, Muslim brother. That was a big. That was
Muslim.
a big.
Yeah, is that which means?
Subtle.
Subtle. All right.
Tranquil.
And you changed
I
it.
don't know if that even works anymore. It used to be. I used to be subtle and tranquil.
But that's cool. But you changed it for your own personal reason.
But also there's a root word in it, latifun, which means mysterious. That's another root word within the word.
So, you know, there's gonna be people watching going, I knew that's why Latif mysterious. That dude is mysterious. Yeah. Every time I go into his freestyle against phonies, there's a mysterious. No wonder he changed it to Latif, that mysterious. But this, and then Eric, what is it?
Eric Charles Mercado.
So what's you know? Again, this is like the drama of a reality show.
Well, the thing
like,
is,
this would be me if I'm producing this next 30-minute reality show called Freestyle Freestyle Against Phonies. Freestyle Against Phonies. I'm producing the next 30-minute, and the whole show would be dedicated to Latif Mercado, who is. What's his name?
Eric Charles.
Eric Charles. And it would just be people like, why did we change his name to Eric Charles? His name is Latif. What's up with that? Who is it? And there's this big mystery, like, where I see is like, and his name isn't even Latif. It's Eric Charles. It's like,
well, they try to
what is that?
Well, they're trying to say that, you know, it's like an alias, and I mean, I don't hide Eric Charles. Eric Charles was given to me by my mother, so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and if you look at the last thing where I have my bio,
yeah.
I break it down. I tell people, you know, where Eric Charles, you know, people want to call me Eric Charles, fine, but I don't respond to you. But yeah, Latif has a different meaning. It's basically post-prison. Okay.
So this, what is that? You know, like Latif.
Right.
You changed it. It means subtle, right?
It means subtle. It was given to me.
It was given to you. You changed it for your own personal reasons, right?
Yeah. When I came home, after doing that those 3 years, you know, a lot has changed. My whole mentality had changed. You know.
So you're in prison for 3 years, and you decided to change your name to.
Yeah, it was just, you know, I changed the way I lived. It was changed the way I thought. So I think on top of that, I had to change. My name was changed. It was a Muslim name, and it was given to me by other Muslims. Okay. You know. And it was great that they gave me that name because I always liked that name. I said, man, if I ever had a Muslim name, it would be Latif. So it was just weird that was the name that they gave me. I was like, wow, this is great.
Which is cool. I mean, and you can change your name for this. Nobody's business why you change your name. You change it, I mean, yeah. So, you know, that's
everybody knows it. Even my family calls me Latif.
Yeah, but it seems that people like go crazy. Because they go, no, it's not Latif. Yeah. It's Eric Charles. Eric Charles. Hey, it's almost like they want to call 911 and say, I found Eric Charles. What is the big mystery behind it?
I don't know. They think it's some, you know, like, you know, some acts don't like to know, so artists don't want people to know. Stevie B, he doesn't want nobody to know what the B stands for, but mostly everybody knows. Okay. But, you know, they think like you said, they discovered something. All I tell them, hey, well, I guess you read my book. Oh, you know my name? Yeah. That's because you read my book.
Because it's in there. I mean, what I've seen, you are a mysterious, a magnet. People are just magnetized to you. They just something about you, bro, that people just have to. I guess that's good, man. When you attract, that's like Michael Jackson power.
Oh man,
right? Yeah. You just attract all these people for so many reasons.
You know,
which means you're doing something right. Because you know what they say, right? If you weren't doing anything right, then nobody pay attention to you. That's where, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I just naturally like people. I step in liking people. I'm not one of those, you know, it's unfortunate sometimes I do these shows, and there's so many fans, and just for the fans to know, if I don't wave to you or I don't come up to you, sometimes your Facebook picture doesn't really look like you look now. It could be good or bad, I don't know, so please don't take it personal, but I get that all the time, and they wave and they smile like one like this, like I should know them and I don't recognize you. Nothing personal, but anyone who reaches out to me on Facebook, and they're very supportive, and they see me at these shows, please come up to me. Tell me who you are, just in case I will hug you. And, you know, I just naturally like people, and I like good people. I like to wrap myself around good people. I don't need a million friends. 5 good friends is all I need. And I like, you know, a lot of people see what it is that I'm trying to do, and they appreciate it. And you can see all the negativity written about me. There's stuff on you can Google me, and I come up. They have these little cartoons of me with bombs, and it's crazy. I gotta show you some of that. But then I get a lot of the behind-the-scenes messages and the emails, and long ones, and people really, really admiring what I'm doing. And I'm not doing it to try to get those posts or anything. I'm doing it because this is something that I was able to help my wife with, and I'm just trying to help somebody else with, and I just think that's my way of giving back. But people are coming to me and they were saying, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. Please don't stop. You know, I listen to your vlogs, I listen to this and I do. And, you know, and that really, really it gets emotional, it gets very overwhelming at times. Sometimes I get a lot of them. Even with the book, the stuff that people wrote about the book, I have, 65 reviews, positive, all positive.
So, you know, your voice, you know, and whether you agree with it or not, you know, everybody, you know, there's always messages out there.
I don't mean no harm to anybody, even the culprits. I'm even willing to help them in some form. I mean, I can never open my heart to them, my arms, because they're not trustworthy. But there's still hope. There's still hope, you know, depending on what they're doing, but the attitude has to change. It's not going to get anywhere like that.
Well, you know, you gotta do what you believe in, and, you know, say what you believe in.
Yeah.
And you know, that voice can't be silenced, you know, and not everybody's going to agree. I mean, the same thing happens with me, you know, as far as when I did the comedy thing, and there's people that love you and there's people that don't love you. As simple as that. But that's not my problem. My job is to just keep following that passion and do what I believe in.
Right.
And there's people that sometimes, you know, when you say what you say, you know, they think it's like, someone was told me it's like giving people medicine. You know, I could give you that medicine raw.
Right.
You know, and like right in your face. Or if you want, I could cherry flavor it.
Right.
But you're gonna get the medicine. So, you know, so that's what I tell, you know, I don't call them haters. I go, listen, I can tell you this and put some cherry flavor. It makes it easier for you to digest it. But
Right.
I'm gonna give you what I'm gonna give you. I'm not gonna, you know, it's not my problem, you know. So we keep doing what we're doing, man. Well, there you have it, Latif.
Thank you, brother.
Okay,
Mike Robles, a man.
Yeah. That's good, man. You educated me about the, you know, the music side.